Hi guys, it's Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft. When I was at the Pathfinder gathering this time, I watched Jamie Burley do a demonstration of how to take birch bark and make a knife sheath. Now in my part of the South we have river birch and paper birch, but we don't have that kind of birch like y'all have up north. We do have some other woods I might be able to substitute, and I'm going to try that. But in talking to him, he said, he showed me the basic design of it and how it works. He said you could practice with cardboard. You could use like cereal boxes. And I got to thinking about that. And I happen to have a few of these laying around. So I decided to learn a new skill. Now, I've already made this one for this pair of scissors. This is a big old heavy pair of shear scissors that I carry for crafts sometime when I'm cut leather or whatever. And I didn't have a good way to protect the edge. So now I've made me an edge on it that will actually hang on to it. It's snug, it works, and yeah, it's cardboard, but it's protecting it. And this is something that's going to just ride an edge of a pack or whatever. So I got to thinking about it, and I've got several of these chisels that I had picked up for cheap. They hold an edge pretty well. And I've got some projects planned for this fall once it cools off where I want to carry these in the field. But once these are razor sharp, you do not want them dangling around in the back of a pack. That's bad. So I needed some way of securing these. And I decided to make me a sheath with this. And let me show you the technique. First, you start with a piece of cardboard. I'm going to use these soda can things. And you're going to cut a strip along. What you're going to do is, the box has a seam in the bottom, like so. Take that off, open it up, now you've got the maximum range. Okay. First you're going to cut a strip down the side about a little over a 1/4 inch, somewhere between 1/4 and 1/2, you know, like 3/8, you know. 1/2 is a little too wide and 1/4 is a little too narrow, so you get the idea, somewhere in between. And you're going to cut a strip the entire length of this. So let me do that right quick. Now, on one end, you're going to cut it to a narrow taper. And on the other end, you're going to leave it full size. So for this, I'm going to cut this end to a narrow taper. Like that. That'll become important a little bit. Now, how big a material you need? Well, it needs to be at least, I believe he said, 1/2 inch wider than your blade and at least a 1/2 inch longer. Now, I want just to protect the edge on this. So, what I'm going to do is take these this main section right here. And I believe that should be more than sufficient. Yeah. So I'm going to cut it about, I'd say about 2 inches wide for that. Somewhere along there. And don't worry about wasting material. This stuff's cheap. You're going to throw it away anyway, wouldn't you? Now, cut it off. I can tell I got a little narrow, but that's going to be okay. Now, what you want to do is take your material, fold it in half, like that, and then you want to fold the end down to that half line you just folded, to the inside, just like this, and fold it closed. Like that. Now, to square it up, I got a little bit showing. I'll just trim it up. Just like that. Now, real close so you can see how this is, see? It's just folded in half. That gives you this mark. Fold to that mark. Fold to that mark. Fold in half. And now you have the main body. Okay, Now, trial fit. I take the chisel and I'm going to slide it down in there. And oh yeah, it's got plenty of room. Just like that, just enough to protect the blade. Now, what you're going to do is, you've got the layers here. You're going to go through here and here, like that. Squeeze that together, and then you're going to come to the outside and start alternating going around. So, taking this, I'll show you up close as best I can. Hopefully I can do this where you can see it very plainly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start by putting it all the way through. I'll leave a little tab sticking out, and that pinches it in that one. Now I'm going to fold this over and put this layer behind it, like that. So it kind of turns the corner, alright? Now, squeezing it nice and tight, sliding it all the way to the bottom. I'm going to take the strip, I'm going to fold it over, and I'm going to go between the two layers of the top, like that, see? Pull it. You're going to have to guide it with your fingers a little bit so it doesn't screw up. Overlap it on that first little tab I pulled, and I kind of hold it in place and pull it snug so it binds. Now, I'm going to do it one more time, same way. Go between. Squeeze it all nice and tight. Now I come to the outside, I come up and I go into this top flap right here. Pull it. Pull it so it's snug. Then I come up and I go through the top flap again. Pull it snug. Now I go on the outside all the way around, come in the top flap, just like that, pulling it tight each time. Now I go between the layers, between the top and the middle layer, like that, pulling it tight the whole time. I'm seeing where I'm getting some slack back here. I need to go back and tighten that up. Alright, now that's tight. Pinch it, pull that one. There we go. Now I go all the way around. I'm going to be a little short. I'm going to start another one. Second strip. Just like that. Pull it tight. Now, let me cut another strip. Okay, now I've got my other piece cut. And I'm going to run it through just like that. Bring it back over, tuck it back in, and I'm going to fold it and pull it tight, just like that. Wrap all the way around, go back through there, pull it tight, go through the, well, I'm saying going through the front lip. I hope you can see that. This is what I mean, right? Here's where the blade's going to go. Here's where you're lacing. Work it down. Pull it tight. Pull it tight, almost till it's about to buckle. Right back through here. wrap all the way around the top, good and tight, and go right in there. Pull it, turn that corner, and stuff it into that plastic lid right there. Now, don't look like much, but let's see what she does. Yeah, nice and secure. Couple layers there. Snug zone, right? Fine. Quick and simple. Now, I'll practice with this cardboard and cardboard like it, refining my technique, figuring out how long it needs to be, how wide it needs to be. This could be a little bit narrower. I could have tightened it up a little bit more at the top, you know, whatever. But when I figure it out and I really know what I'm doing, then I'll shift over to bark, because that's how you learn. This isn't a skill I'd had before. And I've seen birch bark sheaths and thought it was something uber complicated and too flimsy for any real useful. But I actually got to handle one, and I can tell you, it's probably as good as leather. Light leather. You know, it ain't gonna match no saddle leather. But like a sheath like you get for a K-bar, yeah, it'd be at least that good. And this costs nothing. I make a couple of these, so now I can throw that in my pack and not have to worry about it. Add a little bit of a retention up here somehow, which you gotta, it's snug. Me doing like that, it's in there. That ain't gonna come out by itself. And so now I can put that in the pack safely. Hope you enjoyed this, guys. Look up Jamie Burleigh's, I think he shows one of these in one of his videos, how to do it. And I would like to thank Jamie for taking the time to show me how to do this, because that's a skill I want to practice now. I'm Blackie for Shaman's Forge Bushcraft, wishing you safe journeys. Have a great day, guys.